All right, Tic Tac's new favorite segment. Titles, go.
Flaming pile of goo.
The Watkins sighting.
Mayonnaise you can trust.
Wndowless van.
The full hug.
The shocker.
Say words.
You can't molest my cat.
One of the 10.
Small town Sonic.
Final reach around.
An ITT word.
Mayonnaise destiny.
Australian Korean.
Random mayonnaise?
All right, let's do this.
Warning. What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Hello, welcome to this week's edition of Geek Pod. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
Corbs.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Jack.
Guys, what's got you geeked?
Well, I am really excited. What?
What?
I am still geeked. Stop it, Kevin. You can't molest my cat. I am still geeked about Sunday. And Paul, I'm assuming that you saw it, but we saw one of the greatest wrestling matches. I think something that's going to be talked about for maybe even decades to come. Did you watch Hell in a Cell, Paul?
I didn't. I was not home Sunday night.
Did you watch it afterwards?
I have not had a chance. No, it's been nuts.
Okay.
But are you talking? Feel free because I watched.
Let me explain to every. Did you watch it, Jack?
No, but I know about what you're talking about. But I want
to basically for Kevin, because Kevin's the one that doesn't follow it. So there was a Hell in a Cell match. It was supposed to be Cody Rhodes, who recently came from AEW to WWE, against Seth Rollins. Their third match. It was, the last match of the trilogy. And yes, I understand wrestling's all scripted, but something happened that week. The previous Monday on Monday Night Raw, Cody had gotten a slight tear in his pectoral muscle. I don't know if he didn't realize how bad it was, but on Friday while weight training, he tore the pectoral muscle off the bone completely. Now, I mean, it looks like CM Punk stubbed his toe a few week ago, and he's going to be off for months. Cody shows up to Hell in a Cell, whether it's scripted or not, takes off his jacket, and he's basically a bruise from his pec all the way down his arm to his wrist. I mean, that man must have been in the most ridiculous amount of pain. And I know that he's on an upward trajectory. He's getting what he wanted in this industry. And this was the worst possible time that an injury could have happened. He went in there and put on a 40-minute wrestling match anyway. Now, the good thing, Hell in a Cell lends itself towards brawling. So there's not a lot of technical moves, a lot of lifting. It's a lot of punches, kicks, weapons pulled from under the ring. But the fact of the matter is he did it all. He let Rollins go at him with weapons, like, taking kendo sticks and grinding it into his chest, stuff that must have fucking hurt, like a more pain than I could probably take. And he wins the match. And yes, I understand that's the scripted end result, but the story of this basically white knight, this new hero of the WWE, coming in with a visible sickening injury that you look at it and you're like, oh my God, the crowd gasped and went silent when he took his jacket off.
Really?
And to go, I mean, dude, if there was ever a hero moment in the WWE, okay, this is one of them. Put this up there with Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant. This is big. Because he did this, even though he's got to take some time off from surgery, I think he has cemented himself definitely going in the Hall of Fame. From this point forward, he could be one of the biggest stars they have for this next generation, for the next 10, 15, 20 years. It was mind-blowing, and the crowd reaction. I mean, they all realized that they saw something special. It used to be when you talked about Hell in a Cell, you talked about Undertaker and Mick Foley.
Yes.
This match is going to be in that conversation forever.
Nice.
What's really cool about it, Hugh? Tell me if I'm wrong. Like I didn't
You're
see
wrong.
it, but I know, Paul, you're wrong too. But like it puts him on the road. He's out for 6 months for WrestleMania 39 when he's due back right here.
Actually, I haven't heard anything as of earlier today. He goes into surgery tomorrow. They don't really know. He hinted that somehow he'd be back for Money in the Bank at the end of this month. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think he's going to be out till WrestleMania.
I saw 6 months.
It says yes, road to WrestleMania. It's 6 months. So, like Royal Rumble will come back. They said.
Oh yeah, okay. Then possibly. I have a feeling that they're going to keep him on TV in some capacity though, because they've needed a big star who wasn't Roman Reigns for a really long time, and they have it now. You know, AEW's trash is WWE's treasure, and they've done nothing but push him correctly. We lost Corbs.
We did. I guess he's sick of talking about wrestling.
Oh no, but
yeah.
Go ahead, Hugh.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I'm still geeked about that because it was, you know, when you watch something special, when you see something that's going to be talked about for a long time, you know, like when you saw Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, you know, too. Yeah, this is one of those moments.
Wow.
You need to go back and watch it, dude. You've got.
I'm going to. I haven't had a chance.
And start it from the beginning. Do it right. I mean, the beginning of that match at least. Don't skip the theme music because it all built up the way he got in slowly, and then when he took his jacket off. I mean, I'm sure that he's like, you know, this is going to stun the crowd. I'm sure he planned it that way. But again, that man probably experienced more pain in that match than I've experienced cumulatively in my entire life times 10.
I believe it. That looked awful.
Yeah, like I didn't see the match. I just saw the picture. I'm like, oh my God. But like, how did he wrestle though, Hugh? Was it like he didn't miss a beat or something?
I mean, you could tell that he didn't have full range of motion. He was hurt. I mean, every time he got slammed down or something, it had to have been excruciating pain. He couldn't wrestle like he normally did, but he still pulled off high spots at the expense of his own pain threshold.
That also tells you something about how much he trusts Seth Rollins.
Oh yeah. I mean, Seth Rollins absolutely deserves a ton of credit in that. I think he's the best heel they have right now, and they have Roman Reigns. That's saying something.
Even though I'm still getting back into new wrestling, they say Seth Rollins and like Randy Orton, they're good to work with in the ring. They will definitely help you out, put you over, or they'll make you look good.
Yeah. The injury bug is just flying around the two main federations right now. They're saying that Punk broke his foot when he did that leap into the crowd on Dynamite.
Really? Wow. That's shitty.
Yeah. It's really shitty because I'm going in July, and that's one of the things I was looking forward to was seeing Punk. And so I was like, all right, well, now he's going in as the champion. This is gonna be fucking awesome. And Wrestling Karma gave me a big old fucking fuck you right there real quick. So
I hear he doesn't want to give up the title though. Does he have
it wasn't him. It was a backstage decision, which is cool, but it sucks at the same time. Like you shouldn't be able to go out and have surgery and retain the title. He was ready to relinquish, and Tony Khan said, no, you're still the champ when you come back. It's just now you're going to fight the interim champion. They're actually, as we're recording this right now, they were having the the battle royal to see who was going to go against Jon Moxley to go to Forbidden Door to face the winner of a match from New Japan to see who is going to be the interim champion. So when it's Jon Moxley, don't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, they have to protect Punk. They spent a lot of money to get him in, and he's their biggest draw at the moment.
He makes them a lot of money.
Yeah. And while I understand that a lot of people are upset about the interim champion thing, it makes sense from a business perspective not to have him start at the bottom. Mm-hmm. And it means when he comes back, there's a built-in. They don't have to drum up anything. They already have.
There's the story. Yes, and there's precedent for it too. They've done it before. Yeah. They just did it not too long ago with the TNT title.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. So, are we done wrestle talking?
Yes, we're done wrestle talking.
Moving on. Who wants to go next? Kev?
What's got me geeked is all the empty boxes that are in my kitchen right now. All of the stuff that I shipped back from California has arrived. So there was two different lots, one from Disney and one that I shipped from UPS. And I really should have hauled all my shit into Disney and shipped it all from there because they did a better job shipping and it was less expensive. If you ever buy anything at Disney, always go and have it shipped from there because they do a phenomenal job packing it and it's not very expensive, not compared to what you have to pay at the UPS store.
Nice.
UPS store crushed a couple of my things too because they wrapped it so tight and then they packed so much stuff in there that it pushed on it and it kind of crushed a couple things.
So I got lucky with what you gave me.
Those were, so what they did was on those things, and you want me to talk about those things or
Sure,
no?
sure. I was
All
shocked.
right.
I got them yesterday.
Okay, so a few things, what they did is they put them in their own boxes and they put them inside the big box.
Mhm.
What they should have done was taken everything, put it in its own box and put it inside the big box if they wanted to just ship one box. They didn't do that. They did some stuff with bubble wrap. So one of the things that I received, and I think Jack might have got this also.
Yeah, he did. He showed us last week.
That's right, you did.
Same stuff.
Yep. So I received 2 of the Pringles cans and one of the cereal boxes at the showing of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't really know what to do with it. I don't have any place to display it. I don't have any way to keep it, long term. So I decided, and I knew I was going to get Paul something from the show because got to bring something back that's unique and different and, totally just celebration only. So I decided that I was going to give Paul the cereal and the 2 Pringles cans and then allow him to figure out what he wants to do with it. You want to keep it, you want to eBay it, you want to give it away as gifts, whatever, it's completely up to you. You're probably as bigger a Star Wars fan than I am. So I thought that was the best place for it. Yeah.
Postscript to that story, I ate it all before I left work yesterday.
Or that, or, whatever.
You ate $200 worth of Pringles.
It's in
Are you
my
full of-
belly.
Are you full of midichlorians now?
I was before I had this chance encounter with the Emperor. It was not a good thing. No, I'm just kidding. They are all still warm apple pie. No, they're all still safely wrapped up. First of all, the asshole here led me to believe that he had spent a ton of money on me. Because he told me at work on Monday that he said, "Oh, what I got you has finally arrived." And I'm like, dude, I said, you better not have spent more than I spent on you because I brought him back something from Disney. We discussed that. He got his Sabacc game. And he was like, well, I guess you're just going to be mad. I'm like, dude, what did you do? And that's what he left it at. So when I found out it was giveaways and he didn't spend a shit ton of money, I was happy. And it's super
priceless.
unique. It is.
It's priceless.
It is. Until Kylie gets a hold of it and eats the cereal, and then I'll have to fucking kill the child. That's why it's still at work, by the way.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, people are trying to sell that stuff on eBay, and it's not really selling. Food as collector's items is a kind of a unique thing. There really isn't a big market for it. So you either want it or you don't. That's my thinking. So
I've got a
really cool.
6-pack of Ecto Cooler up there. I'm waiting for the day I can sell that.
Ecto Cooler, what's that?
That was the
Ghostbuster High
shit.
C.
Which outlived the whole Ghostbusters thing because it was a huge favorite for a long time. What is going on tonight with people dropping out on the show?
Corbs said he got kicked out by Zoom.
I feel like I should drop out just so they don't feel like they're alone.
Bloop, just gone.
So
You
anyway,
gotta snap your finger though.
Yeah.
So everything arrived. It's all here, and I'm going to show you something later on. I'm going to call it a fun thing to play with, even though it's not a game, but it is kind of a game. But that's my thing for later on, and it was in this. It was in this shipment that I got today.
Awesome.
Game, but not a game.
So since Jack is just coming back again, did you get kicked off of Zoom too?
Yep.
Told you, Ethernet.
Yeah,
Jack, what's got you geeked?
good timing. So what's got me geeked was the Syracuse PowerCon comic convention, what we did this past weekend. So that was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie, getting back out in the community. Saw some Paul and I have saw some really cool movie posters. We saw a movie poster being the history geek here of Joseph Stalin on it, which was really, really cool. We saw one but what was it called, Paul? It was like Not Your Wife or something like that. It was, what was that
Knock
called?
out your wife? Is that what you said?
I think it
What
was,
was it, the Michael Vick story? What?
maybe, oh no, that's Dawes with Michael Vick. You know that.
That was by the way. It's not,
You know, you
Michael
shouldn't
Vick,
refer to them as dogs. They're women.
Michael Vick didn't punch out his wife. That was Ray Rice.
You're right. And thank you
Well,
for,
Ray
for
Rice
saving
Haymaker.
me on that one, Hugh.
Ray Rice haymaker her Corbs.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that was really bad.
You got knocked the fuck out.
Oh, that was oh
They're
yeah.
basically trying to drag her out of the elevator
Yes.
like nothing happened.
Yeah. No, but we saw really cool movie posters. Sean Connery looked like he was on one of them. Christina was there, which actually, I believe it or not, I don't think I've ever met her till recently. That was the first time I think I met
Tina
her.
Aguilera.
No.
Supergirl.
Christina. Yeah, our very own
Is it
Supergirl.
Levinsky?
Yes.
So that was cool.
She
seeing her.
prefers in her professional life to be called Tina Tom L.
Okay. No, but it was really cool
Whoops.
seeing all that.
I'm pretty sure when she was on the show, she introduced herself by her
okay.
own name, so it's okay. But yeah, we got to hang out with her. She makes a surprise cameo in our Abnormal Response Team video that'll be going up shortly. Well, it's going to be a short. It's not a full one like the last two we did. Jack and I got a little bit of footage. I'm going to do some creative editing. Probably draw a dick on Jack's face.
I will kill you. Yeah. No, he's like, yeah. Oh, by the way, we're gonna start filming now as well.
And now.
Then we're up. Exactly. So no, but we got some really good footage there. We saw some really cool people. Special shout out though to Josh and we saw Josh and Jeff at the con, which was really cool. I haven't seen Jeff in like 7 years. So seeing Josh as well, it was great seeing them. Like we haven't missed a beat. Like you go in for the full hug, and it's like a nice reunion seeing these guys. And quote me if I'm wrong, Paul.
You're wrong.
Jeff says he wants to be on the podcast because he wants to hear his voice again, and he wants to hear talk to us. He misses us. He asks how everybody's doing.
So let me clear up that mud you're slinging there. The Jeff he means is we had ourselves a Watkins sighting. He was set up at the table right next to us, actually.
Nice.
It was a really nice reunion. Son of a bitch almost made me cry. The moment he came through the door, grabbed me, gave me a huge hug, kissed me on the cheek, told me how much he had missed me. Then he was like, "Who's that guy?"
Why is he looking at us like that?
Right?
He's looking, judging, always judging.
Always.
Wishing he was in the middle.
No. Yeah.
I looked at the pictures and it didn't seem like there were a lot of figures and toys, or were they just bad pictures?
The pictures were from bad angles. There was a couple of tables, booths, I guess you could call them, that had a lot of stuff. There was one that had a ton of, I was telling you, Kevin, a ton of Funko Pops and Marvel Legends. Like that's all they had at their booth. It was great. You would have liked it, Hugh. There was a lot of long boxes there. There was a bunch of tables with comics. Teddy Haynes himself had a table set up where he was selling wall books at a ridiculous discount.
Really?
He had Star-Lord's first appearance, and he said he would have sold it to somebody for $100 walking out the door right there.
Wow.
And he said, "What do I care? I probably got him for nothing." So, and he had a ton of good stuff. Moon Knight #1, which I looked at because his copy was way better shape than mine. So, but yeah, I mean, and everyone was just really happy to be at a con again. They had nice foot traffic. It seemed pretty busy throughout the whole time we were there. We packed up and left an hour early. We had to. We being me. I had prior engagements.
We did. You could say we. I had prior engagements as well.
Yeah, walkies.
Yes, let's go with that. No, but yeah, I think this is what has you geeked, Paul. Like, yeah, it was really
Don't
cool.
tell me what has me geeked. I'll tell you what has me geeked.
Damn.
You taking over my second there, son.
These two spend a weekend together, now you can't get them apart.
I know.
I tried. I emptied my fucking pepper spray and everything. He just keeps coming.
He had candy in his car. What can I say? I had to go.
You're a windowless fan.
Basically, believe it or not, we do drive the same kind of car. No, but like Paul said, exactly. I had this written down, the exact same thing. It was just nice seeing people again. It just like seeing all those familiar faces. What was really cool when people were signing our sheet to get know more about GeekPod, some people like Ryan were like, all right, yeah. All right, he's does pinball machines. You guys probably know him better than I, but I was getting to know him a little bit
I
better.
love pinball.
Oh yeah. But people were saying,
Let me
like,
help you out there, Jack.
yeah, go ahead.
He's talking about Ryan Zlomek, the mastermind behind Syracuse Pinheads. It's a pinball. I don't know if it's, do they have their own space now, or is it kind of a traveling thing?
He said they
Still.
had their own space, I think,
Nice.
but he knew about us. He's like, oh yeah, I
Well-
know Paul and GeekPod very well.
Is that like a place you can go to play pinball machines?
Exactly.
When are we going?
I'm telling you, man, we gotta go.
Where is it?
Pinball.
I don't know. I didn't get
Probably in
that.
Syracuse.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
But that's the important things. Like people knew about GeekPod, or like they're like, you know what? I don't know, but I'll definitely take a listen. But like when they were signing our sheet, but Paul always asked us, what's got you geeked? I got to talk to a lot of people that were buying comics. They're like, I always ask them what's got them geeked, where they're like, this con, just getting have conversations with you guys, just being there, having a presence, because COVID, as we know, has been dampered in a lot of things. And a lot of people don't want to do things, or they're still trying to get back to it. And just having people out there that are very humbling. Like what Paul said, that comic is definitely worth more than $100. It probably would have sold for a lot more, but just being very humbling and being in an environment with people that generally enjoy the same stuff as we do. That's really what's got me geeked this week.
Nice.
He
He goes for the hard sell. Look at that. Corbs, how about you, buddy?
Not so much geek, so much as pissed off, I guess is the correct terminology. So last Friday, my son went to the semi-form. Okay, first time he's ever done anything like that. I had to go out and buy him a suit the Saturday before, this, that, and the other thing. He had a great time. That wasn't the problem. So next night, which was Saturday, was my nephew's senior ball for his girlfriend from Fayetteville Mayonnaise. And so obviously, you know, he was getting dressed up, tuxedo, they were going, all this stuff. Well, my mom really wanted to go and see my nephew in his tuxedo with his girlfriend and all that stuff. So all day we called all day. She called my nephew twice, my brother twice, my sister-in-law a couple of times. Nobody answered the phone. So finally, my mom and I were out picking up a few things at Walmart that we needed around the house, and my brother called and basically told my mom that they didn't want her there.
Ooh.
Now this has been going on for about a year now. Everything that they do, like my nephew, obviously, I've told you guys before, he plays hockey, and he's 18, so he can no longer play like youth hockey anymore. So if he's going to play hockey, he's got to play like in beer leagues now.
Right, like a traveling team, all that.
Yeah, exactly. So his last tournament was in March down in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we had made plans to go. We were going to go down, me and my mom, because my mom can't drive. She can't see. So if she wants to go someplace, I got to take her. So my brother called up like a month before the tournament. It's like, well, we just want to go by ourselves. And my mom got really pissed at that. And then they posted pictures on Facebook. It was like, oh, you know, it was so nice to be able to see his last tournament, this, that, you know, thing. They played well. He played well in the tournament. So that really pissed my mom off. So come Saturday, my brother says, well, Alex doesn't want you there. So I was like, whatever.
Oh.
I got fucking pissed. My mom got pissed, whatever, you know, the whole thing. So we went to dinner instead. So me and my mom and my son, my sister, and Kelly all went up to dinner to Buffalo Wild Wings. So I was talking to my sister after we had dinner, because apparently my nephew had called my sister and wanted to know where my sister was and why she didn't go over and take pictures. So my mom lost it at that point. She's like, "This is ridiculous. I can't believe what's been going on, back and forth and all this stuff." So she's finally like, "I fucking had it." So my brother hasn't called all week, which he normally calls at least once a week or whatever. I've got to the point where I'm fed up. I defriended him all on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah, I won't talk to my brother if he calls me. I won't answer his text message if he texts me. It's gotten to the point now where it's so damn ridiculous, the bullshit that they're putting my mom through. So I've just had it, and I can't take it anymore. And apparently she's only good enough to get money from. Like, they call her up when they need money. My mom bought my nephew's corsage
Well,
for the
the
ball.
ball
Wow.
that she was not allowed to be there for.
Yep.
Wow.
And she wasn't allowed to go. And then he called my sister and said, "I want to come and show you the corsage."
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Why don't they like her?
Don't know. Yeah,
Does this stem? I'm not going to go into all the details, but does this stem from what happened a few years back?
Be a little more specific.
Nephew?
Not
Well,
so much.
I should say your sister-in-law's reaction to the situation.
That has something to do with it. I think, and my mom and I were talking about this last night. I think it has a little more to do with when my mom and I first moved into the apartment. About 3 months after, she ended up in the hospital. Now, it wasn't uncommon for her to be in the hospital. She used to get, with the diabetes, if she gets an infection in her leg or something like that, sometimes it can get very serious very quickly. So she ends up in the hospital. She goes in and they give her they give her antibiotics and whatnot. So she was in the hospital. So got out of the hospital on a Sunday afternoon, and my nephew was playing in a hockey game that afternoon.
Okay.
So we took her down there. It was like a family thing. Like, it was kind of like my two nephews were playing in it. My nephew Alex and my nephew Jake, who's no longer with us. They both played this. First time they played again. First time they ever get a chance to play in ice together on the same team or against each other. So they went and did that. But we didn't realize at the time that my mom was still very sick. The next night, she ended up going back to the house. My sister got home. She was at my sister's house. Her blood pressure at that time was 90/60. Like, she was almost legally dead. Like, her blood pressure dropped that bad. They had to take her out in an ambulance. They took her up to the hospital. She was in ICU for 5 days. So when she got out of the ICU, when she got out of the hospital, she went and stayed at my brother's house because she couldn't climb the stairs here.
Right.
Well, my brother offered for her to stay there, and my mom said no. I think it has a lot to stem from that instance. So, but I can't be 100% sure. But observation leads, that's when a lot of the stuff started coming around. So that's been the whole week. And the comment was made that my mom couldn't come and see my nephew because when she shows up, she's always got an entourage or other people, meaning me and my son. Well, she can't drive.
Right.
Nobody offers to come pick her up.
Someone has to bring her.
Right. Nobody offers to come pick her up. Nothing. So I have to take her everywhere. Or sister's got to bring her everywhere. A lot of times what I do is I bring her to my mom's house, and then my sister will get her to her doctor's appointments because I work during the day and I can't just up and leave. Not that my boss wouldn't let me, but it's a lot easier for my sister. She's been at all these appointments so far. So that was the reason why she couldn't come, because she would come with an entourage.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm done.
Ugh, sorry, Corey.
Sorry.
That's really fucked up.
You want I should curse him?
Get a voodoo down. So I'm done.
You know
Well-
what? Geek Pod's done too. You're not allowed to listen to the podcast.
Paul, stop it. We need every ear we can get.
Not those.
I
ears.
hope, no offense, I hope they do listen to it. They do hear it, because I'm just, it's, to me, it's fucking
It's stupid.
annoying. It's annoying. Yes.
It's
Oh.
It's childish. It's petty.
that's
Mhm.
what It-
Fuck you, Corbs' brother. Because even so, I'm still not going to invade your privacy by saying your name.
So just walk up to him someday, just throw a cup of gasoline on his chest, and then just stand there with a lighter. Just see what he does.
it's just petty. You're right. It's just petty and childish. It's juvenile too. They're acting. I don't. They
Yeah.
buy your mom buys the corsage and they can't go over to and the entourage thing makes no fucking sense. So no good.
See, you've got another brother over there anyway.
I do.
You actually do. We are related. Actually, you know what? You're Lord Corbs. They should be bowing to you, right?
It should be. Fuckers.
Wait, are you the older brother or younger?
I'm the middle brother.
Oh, you're.
So it's my brother, me, and then my sister.
Hmm.
So
So maybe the older brother's mad because he didn't get lordship.
whatever.
Ugh.
Give him a Viking funeral.
I was about to say that you've been.
What is it with you and lighting fuckers on fire tonight?
He's an arsonist over
When
here.
people piss you off like that, they deserve to be lit on fire.
Why are you a wizard?
No, just it's fun to watch bad people slowly die in a flaming pile of goo.
Paul,
All
you're
right.
closer to Kev than us, so watch him the next couple days.
Yeah, don't piss Kevin off. Don't piss off the stash.
Hey,
Oh.
you might live through it.
The stash, though, I like that. Yeah.
Darth Vader did.
Yeah.
So did Obi-Wan.
Pretty sure if we set Kevin on fire, his mustache would protect him anyway.
It would put it out.
Yeah.
It would just
He
be
was like,
fun
I
to
can't
play.
burn this.
It's all the food I have caught up in there.
Kev, if we measure that mustache, how big is that? Would you say? Like
6'7"
3 inches shorter than my penis.
that's fair. Okay.
4 inches. Then
Sorry, Corbs. This was your segment.
No,
Sorry.
it's fine.
I've lost track. Who still needs to go?
You do.
You
Just me. Okay.
Jesus.
Well, I wanted to make sure because
Yeah,
I
you
get scolded if I fucking go out of turn. So, what's got me geeked is Netflix made some announcements today, and they got me pretty jazzed. I'm not gonna lie. First, they announced that they're doing a Ghostbusters animated series, which is pretty fucking cool because Jason Reitman's involved. So still
neat.
steering the ship.
Nice.
And the long-awaited, at least for me, announcement came that we are getting a second season of the Kevin Smith-led Masters of the Universe Netflix show. This season is going to be called Revolution, and there's been a graphic already. I'm going to describe it, even though I'm pretty sure you're going to see it right here. And it's the Power Sword with, I think, Queen Marlena's crown and almost the whole like wispy sand blowing away thing, kind of like an Obi-Wan, but it's Skeletor's face as it's blowing away. Yes.
Do we
Because-
have release dates when they come out?
No, Kevin Smith, because he's a wordy motherfucker, has just turned in episode 5, the script for. So I don't think they've started yet. Animatics have been turned in for the first episode, he said. And he said something along the lines of, it's going to be quite a battle, cats. So
Thundercats?
Thundercats. Hopefully the Thundercats come back soon in a good way too. That'd be great. But yeah, that's what's got me geeked. So
I like
mostly the Kevin Smith thing had me squealing for joy. So,
Little girl.
Were you in a forest? Were you in a wooded area with another man squealing?
no, I was in the basement. I saw
Kev
it.
gets the reference. Kev gets the reference.
Yeah,
It better not be today's episode because I'm very behind on everything.
How does it go?
He's looking for a behind. Can't you tell?
The
One in
Dutch
the-
that's the Dutch rudder.
Two in the
river.
pink, three
Two
in
in
the
the
stink.
pink, one in the stink.
Is it like that? Is that what it is? Oh, I can't even do that. Oh, it's like that.
Yes,
You got to
you can.
use your thumb to hold down your ring finger.
Oh,
And
got
make sure that you clip your nails.
It's called the
it.
shock.
I always thought it was more like a bowling ball.
No,
Or
Kev, it's called the shocker.
you can hold them like a 6-pack. You know how they got the 2 rings in there. You can.
Just like that.
Where is it?
There you go.
You realize our show is no longer made for audio. Like there are
2
so many
rings?
sight gags we do now.
Ugh.
Two.
I'll
Was
show
that
you.
so
in the-
many
Two rings. I got
sexist
it.
gags?
I got it. All right.
All right. Well, it sounds to me
You
like
drunken fucks.
What the fuck?
I think he's projecting.
Kev, are you just trying to say words down there?
Say words. Hold on, let me write that down. Say words. I think it's time for Kev's Not So Tabletop review.
Well, all right. So I don't have a tabletop game for you, but I have this week some things that I brought back from the convention and from Disney. So this kind of fits in this segment, even though, it's not really a tabletop game. These are things that maybe fit in the collector and or trader arena, which is something else you can do with your friends other than play board games or card games or dice games. So I'm struggling with which one to show you first. Both of these things mean a lot to me. I'll show you this one item first, and I'll give a little background on it. Had a little conversation with a couple of people that I met when we first got there the first day, and one thing led to another, and we shared some details about what we like to collect, Star Wars related. The individual said to me, well, I have some things, what would you want to pay for this one particular item? One particular item just happens to be a Mandalorian Funko Pop. Not just any Mandalorian Funko Pop, but the very first one. The one released in the 2019 Star Wars Celebration, now going for anywhere from $750 to $1,000. What I said to this individual was, I have no way to tell you what I'm willing to pay for that, because I had an opportunity for the shared version, which whenever one of these very special ones are released, they're released at the con, and then a shared one was released at the same time, and it might come out of like Walmart or Amazon or FYE or something like that, and it has a different logo on it, different sticker on it to show you that it's a shared one. Well, the shared one is over $400 now, but it was $250 at the time that I had an opportunity to buy one, and I passed on it. So I told this individual that I'm like, I had an opportunity on one that was the lesser expensive of the two, and I passed on it. And he said to me, would you pay $200 for a D23 2019 Mandalorian Funko Pop in perfect condition? To which I said, fuck yes. So what I have to show you is in a hard stack. Now this is a hard case. Now I'm gonna try to show this without glare. This is a hard pack. So this is he knew what he had, and I know it's blanking in and out, but it's this sticker right here. Well, what's over here? It's this sticker that you need to pay attention to. And I can't.
It's not going to happen. Get a picture of it and I'll put it up right
All
there.
right. All right. Can you see it there? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
From a
So,
distance.
so what this is the original one. Very few of them were actually sold. I don't even know what the number is, but at the con, at the convention, at the Star Wars convention, there were 2 of these on the floor, and they were $750 a piece. I've seen them on eBay going for up to $1,000 a piece, and I have one in my collection now, and I'm very, very happy about that. So what Funkos are, to me, are the thing that, you know, kind of represents what's going on with collecting right now, which is, you know, they're representative of a time or a point, you know, in the story. You know, they show a particular figure or the particular outfit, you know, with a particular scene, and they represent, you know, a memory in the show. And people are trading these, they're selling these to each other, they're collecting them. And for right now, I think this is going to go into my Mandalorian Funko Pop collection, and I'm going to be very happy to display this. So I'm very, very happy that this came in, and it was, you know, in the condition that it was in. And I can't even tell you what this means to me, because it's really, really, really cool, really cool. So there's that.
A question: does that complete your current collection?
So it does. I mean,
Nice.
If you wanted to get really particular, I guess I probably should get a shared also, but it really isn't necessary because this is the better of the 2. So really, there isn't anything that I'm missing as far as all the Mandalorian Funko Pops. And each, you know, in Star Wars, there are different themes, right? There's, you know, the Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Rebels, Clone Wars, etc. You know, and they have different themes. I decided I was only going to collect the Mandalorian because there are so many of them that I needed to really, you know, thin it down and just kind of focus on the one thing. So now for part 2. Hold on. Okay, this will be a bit of a reveal, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my background off, and hopefully you'll be able to see this. Okay. Well, how do I do that? Fuck it. All right. So I'll just hold it against my chest. So this came in.
Ooh, I know what that is.
Okay.
If you've ever seen one of these before, you know that in what lies inside is a lightsaber. This was purchased.
Hilt.
It is a hilt. That is correct. And it is purchased at Savvi's workshop in Disney. And I labored over whether or not to buy this because it's not the original, but it is in fact almost cooler than the original because it is the repaired original. Let me show you a little bit better close up.
Dude.
This is Anakin's original lightsaber that was taken from him by Obi-Wan and then given to Luke, and then lost when Luke lost his hand, and then recovered by Rey, who then had it cut in half and then repaired it. And you can see the repair. This is the leather and the burn marks. I don't know if you can see the burn marks.
We can't really see it there, but I'm hoping you'll get some good pictures, and I'll add it to this.
I'll get some good pictures. So this is as close to the original as I could get. There were others at the con. There were, you know, started at $1,000 and went up from there. And I decided not to get one of those. You know, I wasn't really too awful worried about what I spent when I was out there, but that was a little bit much. So I'm really happy that I got this. And I also, of course, had to get the, you know, the yes, the, you know, blue blade for it. So
That's cool.
Absolutely had to get this. And I'm very, very happy it came in good condition. And I wanted to show it off to you guys tonight.
Nice.
Does that blade, is that detachable?
It is. Yep. It
Screws in.
yeah, it pops.
Nice.
And
You
it looks
can't-
like it detaches way easier than the ones we have, where we have to unscrew a set screw. And yeah,
this is
Well, you said Kev, Disney packaged that for you, and they did a good job with that.
They really did. So there were my buddy Rob and I, we each built a saber. And what you get with that is you get the hilt and you get the blade and you get a carrying case for the whole thing as a, as a whole. And then each of us bought a legacy saber. He bought, and I wish I'd talked to him about this because I'd actually like to show it to you. He's a big Cal Kestis fan. So he bought Cal Kestis legacy saber, one that is very frequently out of stock. It was in stock on the Wednesday that we were there. By Saturday, it was out of stock. It was gone. So had we done the original thing that we planned on doing in the original in 2020, we were going to go to the convention and then go to Disney after. He would have been out of luck. So we're damn happy we went to Disney the day before we went to the con so that he could get his saber. And he's very, very happy about that.
When you say you built the saber, Paul, is this the same thing that you did and brought us back sabers? The plastic?
Absolutely not.
Higher level. Okay.
This is much higher end, much more immersive. There is a whole production and storyline that goes into it. And when they come out, they have sabers that are comparable or better quality than what we have, Hugh.
Oh, okay.
These are not toys. These are high-end
All right.
collectibles. Yeah.
The experience, I know I talked about it a little bit last week, but the experience of being in there and, having the narrator and having the voices come in, like Yoda and talk about, the Padawans building their first sabers. And it is just an experience that no amount of money to me could replace that experience. I mean, I couldn't go buy $1,000, $2,000 lightsaber and be as happy as I was building the one that I built in that workshop.
We need to see that one at some point too.
Well, if hold on a second, don't go away.
We won't go away. We'll be right here. I'm thinking if you look in the show notes for this episode, there will be a link to where you can actually watch the whole process.
I was having a hard time imagining Kev get
I actually
so
thought
excited
bringing
about
this
building
up,
a
and I
plastic
don't know
saber.
why I didn't.
Looks like
So-
a Red Ryder BB gun.
So
You'll
what they
shoot your
do
eye
is,
out, kid.
so what they do is they put it in this really nice, I'm trying to hold it close to me so you can see it. It's a really nice case, padded the whole way down, and it's got a little symbol on it, little symbol, like saber symbol on it. So the whole thing is together. And this is the hilt.
Wow.
Okay. You build each piece. So you have the center piece here, which contains the kyber crystal, and they actually show you the holder, the center, the guts of it. You put the two pieces on that contain the activator, and then you have the two pieces of the body, and then you have the emitter and the pommel that you connect each piece. You pick each piece from the tray from your given path. There's 4 paths, and in the tray there's options for each piece. Then they put it in a special holder, and they light up the blade, and they open it up. And, I can't even tell you what the experience is like, but the comparison of these two is so similar, because I mean, in my mind, the good and the right have always been the right path, and the only other sabers that ever interested me were the the ones that were carried by the Jedi Temple guards.
The Sentinels. Yes.
Yeah, the Sentinels, you know, with the double-ended yellow bladed sabers. So I couldn't be happier to have, you know, a legacy and one that I built myself, and you know, one's blue and one's green. It just fills my heart with joy.
That's awesome.
Oh, and this one does come out just as easy. So the blade just comes
There go your fingers. Just saying.
Yeah, it comes right out.
Nice.
There's the hilt.
Yeah, ours we need tools and
That's cool. That's really awesome. But it's like what you said, Kev, it's the memories and all that stuff that you have now with all that. So
Yeah.
respect.
Now, I got to ask you guys something. Somebody said something to me earlier, and I don't know what the truth is to this. So those red kyber crystals that I bought, the ones from Savvi's, if you put those in a saber, they make the saber talk. Do you know anything about this?
as I understand it, all of the kyber crystals you buy from Galaxy's Edge have a Force Ghost voice that comes along with them. Each color has a different one. I know from what I've read that the white ones, Ahsoka Tano speaks to you. And I believe that Vader speaks with the red one.
So that must be built in. It must be built into the one that you build. It must be the technology. It is in here.
That's my assumption. I don't have all of the info on that.
Well, I can check with one of my red crystals. I can try it.
Okay.
Do they have like limited things they say, or like you don't know enough information?
They're very, very customizable. Like apparently you can even get it to like berate you by name.
Seriously?
No, I'm making shit up. No, that's
Okay, I was about to say,
this
yeah.
part I'm making up. The rest of it that I said was real, but this I'm making up.
Okay.
But how great would it be if like your lightsaber started like addressing you by name and scolding you and telling you you're worthless, just like being married.
It knows my life.
Ball and chain.
I didn't say that.
Neither
Kelly, I
did
didn't say that. I did not say that. I did not say that.
I didn't say it, but I agreed with it. I'm just gonna say it.
That's besides the point. I didn't say it.
You pleaded.
All right. That was pretty cool.
That's all I've got. That was it. I just wanted to show you guys that because you know, these are I don't know, you call them collector items, call them, you know, tradables, call them whatever you want. You know, they kind of fit, in my mind, they kind of fit into that same tabletop game genre, because these are the kind of things you share with your friends around a table. You know, you share your experiences. You may, you know, talk about the process or, you know, what it meant to you. So there's the time to play the game and there's the time to talk about it. And I just think this kind of fits in that same spot.
All right. Before we go to break, I want to throw it back to Jack. We've been waiting a few weeks for this, Jack. They got my half of the story. The guys want to know what you thought of Atrophy Escape Ward.
Oh, I thought we were talking about something else, but all right, yeah, that's cool.
Afraid to ask what you thought I was talking about.
I don't think that's appropriate for this podcast, but what is nowadays? Sure. Yeah, first off, I should go back and listen to what Paul said, but like we always say, organic. Really, shout out though to Tiff and Melissa, just going with them, and it just wasn't Paul and I. But going forward, I'm not going to just like jump at it, but yeah, sure, I'll go. I want to think about where I'm going. So let's rewind a little bit. I go with Paul. We carpool, Rome, New York, the armpit of New York. Literally, Paul's like, oh, there's a Walmart, there's a gas station. So like there's nothing in Rome, New York, nothing. So literally, where did we go to dinner that night, Paul? What was it called?
Frankie Doodles?
Frankie
Something
Doodles.
like that.
Frankie
Yeah,
Doodles.
yeah. I don't know what that was, but like, okay, whatever. It was a good burger, good tenders, but we go to the escape ward, right? Literally, we get there. You guys, we all are Walking Dead fans, and you think I was like, we're at Terminus right now. It's like an abandoned
He
train.
did
yard.
say that.
I was like, Paul, are we gonna fucking die? Like, are we gonna get killed? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, you're not helpful. So like, it literally looked like Terminus, and like looked like we were gonna die or something like that. We go right into this, like they just take your group, which is really cool. So you're not with strangers, so they just keep you tailored to your group, which is really cool.
Hang on, Jack. I just want to correct that. It was Nicky Doodles that we
Nicky.
were at. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so like you have Burger King, McDonald's, but we were at Nicky Doodles.
It was almost like an old school like Tasty Freeze.
Yes.
Does that mean anything to anybody else?
Nicky Doodle Dandy.
Think of a small town Sonic.
So, but that was cool though. Like,
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was cool. Like, but like I said, like shout out though, like to Tiff and Melissa going with us. But before we talk about that skateboard, also Melissa's husband, he had the bet, like literally James.
His name is James.
James, shout out to you. Like he has the best, like arguably the best man cave I've ever seen. Hundreds and hundreds of toys, like they're perfect. No, I know, Kev. But like they're like his collectibles are in the pristine condition. Like he makes sure they're in line. Dude, yeah, like oh my god, if he can let us take a picture of that and show you guys on this podcast, you felt like you were walking through the Smithsonian of toys. It was beautiful. Like he had them all in line for Star Wars. I'm like, oh, I like your Star Wars figurines. He's like, no, they're in episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8, and 9. He has like a Green Lantern collection Paul was in awe of. He has wrestling collections, like
but his wrestling collection was all like 80s WWF figures.
Right.
Not like from the 80s. They were the current WWE Legends figures of all the 80s that like he only collects the wrestlers from the 80s, but they're the current versions of them. Phenomenal.
Yeah, Paul and I literally we got there because we were going to the skateboard, but then we just like get up there, we're like Melissa's like, do you want to see my husband's man cave? And James showed it to us, and we're just like, we looked at each other like, what the fuck? This is impressive. He shout out though to James because that was like a Smithsonian of toys. Okay, but back to the skateboard though. After
Squirrel.
I know squirrel. You like your squirrel, I know. But yeah, like the skateboard. Literally, you stay with your group. So Melissa, Tiff, Paul, and I were in this skateboard. They put us in a room completely dark, and there's
Do
like
not give away plot points.
Okay.
Don't ruin it for anybody.
All right, but literally we're just waiting and all that, and then but we just wait there like for 15 minutes before we even go in, which is impressive.
And what were you saying the whole time, Jack?
It's been 2 weeks. I don't know.
I remember.
Go ahead, Hugh.
What did I sign up for? What the fuck did I sign up for? I believe.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, see, like I had celebration, so I forgot what I said.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
I did say that actually. No, that does sound familiar. But like not giving out plot points, but like just basically the actors for general. Like shout out to like Josh and Sarah. Like they're really great. Literally right after, they're just dedicated actors. Like they came out and like said like we really appreciate you guys very much. And like Sarah was one of the actresses that screamed at you.
How the fuck did you get one of the actresses' names?
She friend requested me on Facebook.
Nice.
So she was like, sorry I scared you. I'm like, I know, sorry, my friend Paul held my hand, so it's all
wrong answer.
I don't believe you.
They heard the real story 2 weeks ago.
I don't know who you're gonna believe, whatever.
We're waiting to hear Jack's story, and I believe Jack over Paul.
Bullshit, you do.
Yeah, because I'm literally trying to get out of these skateboards. Tiff's holding my hand and Paul's grabbing my hand. I'm like, bro, get off my hand. So but like I'm like, all right, but I know it's okay, Paul. It's okay. But these actors are great. Literally, Sarah, I was like, I really appreciate your acting. Like not giving away plot points, but if you get something wrong, I have to mention them one thing. They'll just like scream in your face. It's like, okay, that's lovely. That's nice.
Is that all I'm gonna say is medicine cabinet?
Oh yeah, like medicine cabinet. I find the right thing, and then I get up and I slam my head right on the medicine cabinet. I was like, what the Fuck.
Wait, they were screaming in your face. Were they wearing masks?
Yes, they were wearing
Yes,
masks.
actually they were.
Oh.
Yes.
But it's literally like a sane asylum with an escape room. But it was like really interactive for 45 minutes. You literally
Full hour, actually.
Yeah, I'm not going to give away plot points for sure, but like it's just so interactive. They really love their craft. They love what they do. And shout out to see them again though at our Sci-Fi Horror Fest in August again. They're really great.
How much
So,
did you pee?
You might pee a little bit.
How much did you pee?
One drop
Per room.
Well,
so what you're saying is wear a funnel with a hose into a bag on your ankle.
like a catheter. Yeah, you might want
Yes.
one of those. But literally, like they stayed in character the whole time till the very end, and then they're like, "Sorry, guys, we had to scare you." But they knew Geek Pod very well, which was really cool. They knew who we were. Getting another thing, like we said, like what's got you geeked though, like just getting back into the community, just putting our name out there, and like Tiff and Melissa just being with them, which was really nice. But I did not know they were gonna split us up though. So Paul and Tiff were
Jack.
together.
Too much.
Okay. All
Too
right.
much.
Reeling it in.
Maybe I'll bleep that part out.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Cut
can.
that shit.
Yeah.
All right, but good times.
It was. Well, this isn't my segment. I'm not supposed to say. What? How did you feel about it? How was it? What do you rate it?
11 out of 10. I would definitely recommend this to people. I did not know what I was going into. Usually I like to research things before I do these things. But
you said you did, right? Like you watched like the video, right?
Very
The YouTube
little.
video?
I watched the video, but
Yeah, you did more than I did because I went in as blind as could be.
yeah, but like just like from actors to a wow factor, the makeup, all that. So
Phenomenal.
I would recommend that to anybody.
Yeah. But all I've got to say is as rumblings I'm hearing, you may not have to wait until August to experience it again.
Fuck. Paul.
I can't say anything else.
Why do I have to be the test? Why do I have to be the test subject?
You don't have to be. Everyone has a choice.
That's true. But I always volunteer again though, because I think it's fun.
It was awesome. Awesome.
Volunteer for shit.
All right. I think it's a good time to throw it to break. Stick with us, guys. We will be right back with the news. The 4th annual Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming with an all-new location, new guests, and all the same fun, charm, and camaraderie that you've come to know and love. Sci-Fi Horror Fest has a new home for 2022 at the Vernon Downs Casino and Hotel in Vernon, New York. Sci-Fi Horror Fest will be held on August 26th and 27th. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a family-friendly event featuring fun activities, vendors, and a media area with an eclectic group of podcast personalities. Exciting celebrity guest appearances will be announced soon. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to www.sci-fi-horrorfest.com. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is currently looking for volunteers. This is your chance to be a part of the fun. Please note, details of the event are subject to change due to any lasting issues due to COVID-19. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics.
Now, before you verbally express that you wish we could trade the police response to the Brett Kavanaugh stalker incident with the police response to the Robb Elementary School shooting and end up on an FBI watch list, here's the news. First up, not a laughing matter. Joker director Todd Phillips has confirmed via social media that there is a sequel in development. There is a script, and Joaquin Phoenix will be returning to the role of Arthur Fleck. The working title is, and I'm going to mess this up, Folie à Deux, which means madness for two. This condition is defined as an identical or similar mental disorder affecting two or more individuals. Now, this is surprising considering Joker was always supposed to be a one-off, and Phoenix said a big part of what drew him to the role was that it wasn't a series. My best guess is Warner Brothers asked how big of a money truck that they needed to pull into his yard to let his artistic integrity be flexible. No idea on how much that was, but hopefully it was as much as he fucking deserved. Next up, Morb Life. In what began as a sarcastic joke on Twitter, social media users begged for the first flop of 2022, Sony's Morbius, to be re-released in theaters last Friday. Horny for box office and oblivious to how the internet works, Sony execs actually thought this was more than a meme and sent the film back to theaters last week. Now, we live in a world where Morbius is somehow both the first and second box office flop of 2022. It's reported that it brought in a mere $300,000 over the weekend. That is less than Tusk pulled in its first weekend. And that movie is fucking awful. When you get beaten by over, $400,000 by Justin Long in a walrus suit, it's time to give up. And finally, if you pop till you can't stop, or pop till you drop, or pop and more pop, you may have to stop the pop, or pop the stop, or drop the pop, stop, drop, pop thing, or something. I'm tired. There's an impending popcorn shortage looming over the movie theater industry. The Memorial Day surge in movie watching has left the popcorn suppliers without enough stock to meet demand. This means you may not be able to buy a basketball-sized bucket filled with 30 cents worth of popcorn and fake butter for $19.99. And if you can, I imagine refills will now come with a cost. Wait, what if this is all a scheme to do away with free refills? Only a few short months after the permanent increase in ticket costs. I mean, how the fuck do you run out of popcorn? I mean, have any of you ever run out of popcorn? And how do you run out of popcorn only and specifically for movie theaters? Not a single article I found mentioned that this was affecting anyone but movie theaters. In fact, my local store shelves are stocked full of this stuff. This just makes me even happier that I can enjoy Doctor Strange 2 on my couch on June 22nd, coming out on Disney+. I believe the theater chains have broken the sacred trust between moviegoer and movie. Maybe the internet can petition Sony to bring honesty back to the theaters for a weekend. And that's the news, kids. Now, I leave you with a warning about random mayonnaise. On my recent trip with my mother-in-law, we found a small canning jar full of white stuff in the refrigerator. Since I was grilling burgers, I asked if that was mayo and what kind it was. She replied, I know, be prepared for this. She replied, she was not sure. She just put some in a jar to bring with her. I was forced to drop everything and go buy a jar of mayonnaise I could trust. Now, I get saving space when you're camping and shit, but this was a 3-week stay at basically an apartment. There was plenty of space in the fridge. The larger issue is who doesn't know what kind of mayonnaise they have? Most people are fiercely loyal to one brand or another, and if not, they still buy the generic from only one place. They find the store brand that tastes the least like eggs and cum and stick with it. Good mayo elevates everything around it. Bad mayo can ruin your life. Know where your mayo comes from. Take charge of your mayonnaise destiny. If I traveled with a small jar of mayo, I could tell you exactly what brand it was and where I got it from. It's Duke's, and it's from Walmart online. Have some integrity. Never trust random mayonnaise. Paul?
In other news, more than 10 people a year are killed by vending machines. Back to you, Corbs.
I buy it. Shaking it, trying to get something that didn't come out. It falls over on you.
I like Cal's reaction.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, I mean, how would that kill you? All right, I'm gonna try it.
Those things are heavy. You're gonna go try to get killed by a vending machine?
I want to be one of the 10.
I think your girlfriend needs to tell you how stupid that idea is.
Don't worry, she will.
Does that mean I get free Dr. Pepper and Cheetos out of that vending machine when it kills you?
As long as you're right there next to me.
All right.
Well, you're going to have to reach around his crushed, bloody body up into the machine.
No doubt.
That could be a weird horror movie.
It could be. We call it Corbs in the vending machine. Part 2.
Title, reach around.
All right. Well, I got to follow up something about a vending machine killing people. So. So this week we're gonna talk some sports again, but I'm only gonna focus on my favorite sport, which is golf. So as you guys know, last weekend was the women's U.S. Open. It was won by Minjee Lee. She won by 4 strokes ahead of American golfer Mina Haragai. Lee was born in Australia. She looks like she's Korean. It's kind of weird. She took a 3-shot lead into the final round over Haragai, and she also broke the 23-year-old record for 54-hole score of 200. Now, 200 is over the course of the 3 days, so you combine the scores over 3 days. After shooting a 67 on Saturday, by winning the Women's U.S. Open, she won the biggest prize for first place in any women's golf tournament to date. $1.8 million. Yeah. It's not bad. I mean, I watched it. They got some new sponsors and stuff like that. That's why the prizes have gone up. The total prize amount for everybody who made the cut, because you only get paid if you make the cut. The total prize for everybody was $10 million. So, and obviously it's broken up throughout the entire field, but $1.8 million to the winner. Not the best story of the weekend, though. The biggest story of the Women's U.S. Open was the 22-year-old amateur Ingrid Lindblad. She's Swedish. She was 1 stroke off the lead after day 1. She was tied for 5th after day 2 and 4th after day 3. She ended up finishing tied for 11th. Now, the thing with the amateurs is can't collect any money. So, and if she had won, there's only been one amateur to ever win the Women's U.S. Open ever. If she had won, she could not take the money. She could not declare that she wanted to be a pro. You have to do it before the tournament starts to collect money. So, but it was fantastic to watch her. She didn't miss a putt 10 feet in all weekend long, which is amazing considering the greens that they played on were very, very fast, very undulated. So, that's a T word, Paul. So,
Did you say that's an ITT word?
no, SAT. ITT does not exist anymore, Paul. Just the student loans do.
Yeah, right.
All right. And the last thing I want to talk about is the new golf series that's coming out to rival PGA Tour. It is called the Live Golf Series. Starts this week in the Century Club in London. This will mark the first of an 8-event stretch for the league. The tournament consists of 54 holes, whereas the PGA Tour has 72 holes. The field is limited to 48 players, and the purses for this tournament, now this is across obviously all the teams, and it's $25 million. It's 12 4-man teams that will compete in each event. and the individual purse will be $20 million, while the others will be $5 million, divided amongst the best teams of each week. As it stands right now, the best player in the league is two-time winner Dustin Johnson. So, and what's going on is the people who run this tournament, they're Saudi Arabian. So they're the ones that are backing all this stuff. And what they're doing is they're paying golfers from the PGA Tour to come over and play in the league. They're giving them a huge amounts of money. So Dustin Johnson is a two-time major winner on the PGA Tour. He was reportedly offered 9 figures for his services.
Wow.
Shit.
Okay. The league has also landed commitments from Bryson DeChambeau, who's another big name on the tour. Phil Mickelson, if you guys have know anything about golf, he's big. He was Tiger Woods' chief competitor in the early 2000s. Martin Keimer, he's a major winner. Ian Poulter, Lee Westwood, Graham McDowell, these guys all have won tournaments on the tour. Because they're all being paid to come and play. They're also getting, they're possibly going to get 2 other guys from the tour, and Ricky Fowler, who I really like watching play, and Patrick Reed. So what it is when the PGA Tour said, if you're going to go play in this tour, you can't play in the PGA Tour. So what these guys are doing is they're resigning from the PGA Tour.
I mean, if the paychecks are that big, yeah.
Well, yeah. So what they're doing is they're saying, well, fine, I don't want to. So I'll give you back my tour card. I'm going to go play over here. They only got to play in 8 events, whereas the PGA Tour goes all year. So the season starts in, I want to say, October or November, and it goes all the way through the year. And they play, at the beginning of the year, they play out west in Hawaii. And then they move from there, they move down south, and they start to come up, and then they go back into the Midwest. They play up in the East Coast a little bit. So these guys are traveling all over the place. These guys are only going to have to travel only a few places over in London and where these tournaments are being played. So the PGA Tour doesn't know what to do about it. So they were telling guys that if they were going to go and play, they couldn't play on the tour. So guys are like, well, fine, if that be the case, then I'm going to just hand you my resignation from the tour, and I'll go play over here. And when it comes to the majors, there's 4 majors every year. You got the Masters, the Men's U.S. Open, the British Open, and the Players Championship. So they're allowed to play in these tournaments because as long as you have won at some place in the world, you can go and play in these. So these guys have found a loophole at how to get to these places and play in these tournaments now, and still play in this rival golf league, make the money that they're making, and they're offering everybody money to come and play this. So they're offering all the tour guys, the tour guys from PGA, the European Tour. So it's kind of a big deal. So today, this coming Thursday, so yesterday or whenever Paul puts it out, the tournament starts this week. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes.
Are people giving them as much shit about working with Saudi Arabia as they do
Yes,
Vince
they are.
McMahon? Okay.
Yeah, and that's some of the reason. That's some of the reason why they're getting so much flack, is it's because it's a Saudi-based. The Saudis are the one that are giving the money and they're fronting everything for the tournament. So that's where the issue lies, is they don't want to be associated. They don't want their guys associated with that tour. So
Right.
that's why when the guys said they were going to go and play, they said, well, if you're going to go there, you can't be here. So got a lot of guys are like, well, fuck you. If you don't want me to play in your tour, I'll go play over here. I can still play in your majors because you don't have any rules letting me not play in them. So that's what these guys are doing. So,
Corbs, I got a question for you.
yes, sir.
So basically, there's definitely probably a golf Hall of Fame for sure.
There is.
So Phil Mickelson, we'll use him as an example because he's won countless majors and all that. Do they like? They probably don't, but I'll just ask the stupid question. But like, do they like get rid of his major wins? So like, fuck you, you're not gonna be okay. So like, will he eventually get in the PGA Hall of Fame or like what? Yeah, elaborate on that.
Yeah, I mean, he will eventually be there. I don't know. They may hold him up a little bit more because of this, and it all depends on how this tournament, how this league goes. I mean, if it's a big thing and it takes off, you'll see more guys jumping over to it. I mean, they offered Jack Nicklaus money. They offered Tiger Woods a boatload of money. A lot of guys are saying no, but a lot of guys are like, yeah, this might be something for me.
Right.
What are the shape of the golf courses? Do they look nice? Have you seen
Yeah, they're golf courses that the PGA Tour normally plays.
Okay.
They could probably even be public courses over in Europe and whatnot. You can't keep anybody from not playing on a public course. All you have to do is rent the course out. So if they want to have a tournament there, all they got to do is go to the guy who owns the country club or whatever it is and say, we want to rent your course for 4 days. We're going to have a bunch of guys come in. We're going to pay for everything. And nobody's going to turn away millions of dollars and say, no, you can't come here and play on our course. So, but it'll be interesting to see. Next weekend is the U.S. Open for the men. And it's going to be interesting to see if some of the guys from that tournament come back and play. So, that's all I got.
Outstanding.
So, be interesting. It's going to be an interesting week for golf for me.
Nice. And that's the sports. Now, Jack, you have a question for us?
Two.
You got two.
He goes right up to the line. Look at that.
Of course. So let's do some TV trivia this week. Okay, so cue the music, Paul. All right, there it is. What are you, Ric Flairing me or something like that? All right.
Woo!
You know, that might mean something completely different after Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh,
Didn't we already use throwing his hammer though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whirling his hammer.
I should honestly come up with a question for a certain person each week because Corbs is the winner of all these so far. Corbs is definitely knows his.
Corbs has no life.
Corbs is like Bob Dole. All right. So here's question number 1. Which famous TV series featured a reference of a picture of Superman in every episode?
Seinfeld.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Good work. And
Did you watch that show?
Did I? I've seen the random episodes here and there.
That's good. That one's good, but Curb is, I don't know, but Seinfeld I like. That's good. All right, question number 2. This one probably will give it away. This is a very easy one. Which TV host personality refused to book Elvis Presley? And his popularity got bigger because he was refused.
Ed Sullivan.
Exactly. That's very simple.
All right.
Exactly. And there are your 2 trivia questions of the week.
Nice.
so I have a question about Seinfeld. Where would these pictures show up of Superman?
They weren't specifically just pictures. It was something Superman. Jerry Seinfeld is a huge Superman fan. He had statues in the background on shelves. On his fridge, there is a Superman magnet doing the whole breaking the chain, the very classic pose.
So, okay, so it was a reference to Superman and everything. So it might be a picture in the background.
Physical.
So if Kramer came walking in the door, you saw the refrigerator, you might see the magnet every time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's pretty interesting too, because like Red and I was doing that because Jerry Seinfeld is really, I think he's cool. He's pretty funny. And I don't know why, but it just always fascinates me, like their net worth. Jerry Seinfeld's net worth is 950 million. Holy fuck. Right? Like, damn. That's one rich Jew.
Yeah, he did a lot more than the show and his stand-up. I mean, he was a businessman. He made sure that Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't care. I didn't care for the show that much. I mean, the kind of stupid humor really just didn't really interest me. But I do appreciate who he was and what he did.
Yeah, it's a show about nothing. Like I was too young for it, but my parents said they look forward to it every week. Yeah, it was like 91 to 1998. I was only 10. Remember, I'm young here.
I was graduating from college already.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, I spent my time watching reruns of The Tick on Comedy Central, but
You're also watching WWF Attitude Era though.
not in college.
WCW Nitro.
Girls didn't go for you if you said you liked wrestling.
Not back then. No.
Okay.
They don't know either. Trust me.
Yeah. Corbs and I tried last week. It didn't work.
Nope.
Just put her in the sharpshooter. See how she likes it.
I've been put in the sharpshooter before. It fucking hurts.
Especially when you step on somebody's nuts. Yeah.
I've been putting the sharpshooter. I've been putting the figure 4 leg lock, camel clutch,
Mm-hmm.
Boston crab.
The ankle lock.
Should we tell Kelly to take it easy on you?
Right. Tell her to back off a little bit. Jesus Christ.
Corbs, was this all last night or was this over a period of years?
That's a conversation for an off mic check.
Okay.
Some things aren't for public consumption, man.
You pay extra for that cotton.
True.
All right, let's throw it to commercial and we'll wrap this
Wait.
thing up.
I got something.
You want to do it now?
Might as well. We got
Okay.
some time.
I retract what I just said.
All right. So you guys remember now, guys, I'm talking about, I already talked to Paul about this, but Kevin and Hugh. You remember a couple months back, I mentioned something that Kelly had a friend that was in prison, that got out of prison.
Yep.
And she was talking, this guy was talking to her and asking her a bunch of questions about me.
Just a friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember, Kevin, I asked you guys, what's the one thing all guys think about? And it started with an F.
Oh yeah.
So Jack, I'll give you the quick story. So Kelly was talking, my girlfriend was talking to this guy she was been friends with, ended up in prison for some drug related charges. So she kept in contact. She kept texting, or not texting, letters, emails, whatever they do. I don't know how they get stuff in prison or whatnot. So when this guy finally got out early, he reached out to Kelly and was talking to her, asking her if she had a boyfriend and whatever, and if I treated her well and all this stuff. And I got mad. I didn't get mad. I got jealous. And I just said, he's thinking of one thing.
Yeah.
That's all he's thinking about right now. She's no. He's not thinking about that. I'm like, you're naive if you're not thinking that. All guys think of that.
Yes. Homeboy wanted one thing,
yeah,
and it was the sharpshooter.
It's only for me.
I was going to look for crossface, but okay.
So, fast forward. Saturday night, Kelly and I go out. It was after the whole incident with my brother and sister and all that stuff. So we had gone out. We went to dinner. Her and I had date night. So we went out and did something on Saturday night. So we get back to her house and she's in the car. She's like, I got to tell you something. I'm like, okay. So apparently what happened, this guy ended up having his job got cut. So he wasn't maintaining enough hours to be out on work release from prison. So he had to go back to jail. Okay. So apparently he got out. His sentence is up and he's out. So apparently he started texting her again. And he basically told her that he wanted more than a friendship. And she's like, well, that's not going to happen because I'm in love with Sean. All this, she basically told him it's never going to happen. She's like, I'm sorry if that's not what you're looking for. But the best part about the whole story is I was.
Say it louder for the audience in the back.
Dude, I have not let her live it down. Every chance I get, I let her know. I was right. Right from the get-go, I knew exactly what this guy was thinking about. She didn't believe me, but she actually said in the car, you were right. All along, you were right the whole time.
Do you have proof of that?
Actually, I do.
And
I told her when I talked to her today, because we texted her in the day or whatever. I said I was going to mention it on the podcast because I brought it up on the podcast originally, and I'm going to bring it up again because I was right, and it doesn't happen very often. When the female admits that the male is right,
it never happens.
And
in my experience, that never happens.
So,
I'm just gonna say we've had this discussion off mic many times about how you've never once watched the show.
yeah.
Please come back and watch this part of the show after it gets released. Just
Uh-oh.
I got you, buddy.
Can
That's all
we
I
get
can
some
say.
music like when Corbs is right, like just like a pizzazz or something like that?
Listen, I do the editing here.
I know you do. I know
You're just
already
gonna have to
thinking it.
come back and watch.
That's right.
You're right.
Don't get me wrong.
If you want to know what it's going to be, make an impassioned plea in the middle of your segment for him to add shit that he can't refuse.
When you put me on the spot, and I kind of have to do what you
Yeah.
ask. It's either that or cut a whole segment, then we're fucked.
The other part about it is she's one of the ones that listens to the show every week, so she's gonna get a chance to hear it, and she'll see whatever you put in there. So
Oh yes, you will. On that note, let's send it to break. Stick with us, guys. Probably not Kelly at this point, but we'll be right back. The fourth annual Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming with an all-new location, new guests, and all the same fun, charm, and camaraderie that you've come to know and love. Sci-Fi Horror Fest has a new home for 2022 at the Vernon Downs Casino and Hotel in Vernon, New York. Sci-Fi Horror Fest will be held on August 26th and 27th. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a family-friendly event featuring fun activities, vendors, and a media area with an eclectic group of podcast personalities. Exciting celebrity guest appearances will be announced soon. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to www.sci-fi-horrorfest.com. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is currently looking for volunteers. This is your chance to be a part of the fun. Please note, details of the event are subject to change due to any lasting issues due to COVID-19. Looking for the hottest new comic on the shelf or a keyback issue to complete your run? How about that rare statue or action figure that you've scoured the internet looking for? Come to Collectibles Galore, located in North Syracuse with ample off-street parking. Collectibles Galore has a huge selection of comics, toys, and rare pop culture items you won't find anywhere else. Comics Galore is always buying comics and toys and will give you the fairest price for your collection. New customers get 15% off their first purchase in store. Collectibles Galore for all of your pop culture needs. Stop in and see for yourself why Collectibles Galore is the king of comics. And that music means it's time for our weekly topic of the week. Weekly.
weekly topic of the week.
Weekly.
We
And
need-
fucking Hugh's gone. Anyway,
I'd just say this week's weekly topic of the week.
weekly.
No, this
Okay.
week's weekly topic of the week.
Weekly. We do it weekly.
Yes, that's
I
what I said.
want
Who's
my
on first?
what?
What?
Who's on third? No, I don't know who's on third. Jesus Christ.
You're not doing it right.
All right. Weekly topic. You get to live within the universe of a TV show or movie of your choice. Which is it? Why? And what would you be doing there? Go ahead, Corbs, because we already know what you're gonna fucking say.
That was the best laugh ever.
Well, I mean that for me is easy.
How is charming?
I'm living in fucking charming. I'm rolling with the SOA. So
Let me guess, you're gonna be a prospect.
well, that's how you start out in there. Yeah.
So I mean, if it wasn't clear, Corbs is going to be within the Sons of Anarchy universe,
Just saying.
Oh, wow.
pledging sons. He's gonna be. I
I
stopped
mean,
myself.
don't get me wrong. It's not a long life
Right?
because I watched 7 seasons and I think they had like 75 deaths in it. So,
Sounds about right.
but
Would you have like a good do-rag on, some nice assless chaps?
Have you ever seen Sons of Anarchy, Jack?
No.
that's terrible. Get out. That's like supernatural for us and Hugh though.
Since you just said it that way, Hugh, what's your answer on that?
That's tricky. My first instinct is Highlander because man, the history you would see. But knowing my luck, I'd be born in 2042, and all I would see from the beginning would be the stupid bullshit that's happening now accelerated. So I'm gonna say Star Trek, and what I would do is anything and everything, because the entire universe would be open to me to explore. They are able to extend your life to a degree. So I mean, I think some of the technology and canon people, you're hitting 130 to 200 years. So I'd have a good amount of time to see tons of stuff. And the best part is if you want something, you tell your replicator to make it, and it makes it.
Yes, not a bad thing there. No,
Not at all.
Jack.
Being a history geek, I guess I would want to live in the 1967 to the 1970 era with the Wonder Years. And I would definitely be a flower child, probably for sure. And be an
I see
activist.
that.
Yeah, be an activist, go into Washington, D.C., seeing Dr. Martin Luther King doing his I Have a Dream speech. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was a big pothead in college, and that was fun. That was a good time. So some of my best thoughts, like I wrote my thesis when I was high in college. But no, just like being like seeing like how people would interact. Like you have the businesses, like you have like all this stuff, and like Dr. Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and just the music was great. You had Jim Morrison all the way to
Time out.
What?
Did you say 67?
1967 to 1970, yeah, the Wonder
Okay,
Year.
never mind. I misconstrued it. So you're right. I won't.
I know where you're going with that.
I was
but
gonna call you on the Doors thing, but no, you're right.
You're good. But like Doors, they had a lot of like the music was great. Just like listening to all that stuff from the 60s, they had some really good music. But just seeing like what would happen with like that, all that stuff, like the war going on in Vietnam. It was a very controversial time for America, but we needed to like band together. But we were at like wit's end, like we were destroying each other. But maybe just seeing what's going on in that kind of country and see what's going on in that time period. That's what I'll do.
Nice. Kev.
You go.
All right. So I've got two. I gotta find the name of the one. Hold on.
Should I go? Well, you're
Yeah, go ahead. Because yeah, go ahead.
I would like to be in the MCU. I would like to see the happenings and what's happening. It would just the Marvels. And I'm sure I would not be involved. I would be one of the snapped.
Or the building dropped on.
I'd probably be right along with the waitress from Avengers, where you're just kind of all of a sudden one of these fucking spandex clad jack-offs comes hurtling through your window. Yeah, I'd be that guy.
I want you to narrow it down because there's been several. Now you said series, so there's been several series, multiple episodes, on Disney Plus, and MCU. Narrow it down to which one actually appeals to you more. Are you talking WandaVision? Are you Moon Knight? I want you to narrow it down.
Seriously, come on.
I did say TV movie, so it
You
could
did.
actually
Well,
be. And then I
okay,
did just
all right,
reference
all right.
Avengers. So I guess we will say within the Avengers, New York City, probably in that diner where they had shawarma.
All right.
Shawarma.
I mean,
Have you ever had shawarma?
you could have said
No.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You
Very
know,
place
that
right
would-
down the street that serves shawarma.
we got a place right around the corner from where we go to work.
We have to try that, by the way. I've never had shawarma.
I've had
You
it.
got something to do first.
So I'm ready. I've got mine.
Okay, go ahead.
So my first one was Lost in Space, because the idea of that sort of an adventure, and especially knowing where they ended up, I mean, it was completely different than the original series. If you haven't seen Lost in Space, if you haven't seen the final season of it, it's really, really good. I think the actors involved, even the kids, you know, it was just really, really well done. I think the final episodes really, you know, brought it to a nice close, and you know, let you walk away from it without feeling like you missed out on anything. So initially I was thinking, oh, Lost in Space, you know, that would have been kind of fun, you know, the whole adventure thing. But then I got thinking, well, I like the theme, but in all honesty, and I need to read these books, The Expanse really, it really drove home to me the idea about where we might really end up if we as a race truly went out into space, and what it would be like, you know, stepping from where we are now out into that explorer realm, where now we have, you know, populations on other planets, and, you know, in space colonies on satellites, and what that might entail, and how that trade might happen, and what sort of, you know, pirating adventures you might get into, or
Ooh.
what being in the military might be like. So that to me, I think is very, very, very interesting. And the only other two that I could think of that would be anything like that would have been like Carbon Black, or where, you know, you've got your memory chip, it fits in the back of your neck, and then, you know, your memory can go from you know, skin, you know, body to body. Or there was another one I was just thinking of that was something like that. But something like that, you know, something like one of those where, you know, all of a sudden you're thrust into a future of, you know, where it's the whole what if we lived in, you know, the Blade Runner era. So all of those, you know, even the one the series I watched that was a cartoon, and they only made the one season of it. Oh God, I can't.
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop. You know, all that stuff. It's just, I really like the idea that let's jump on a spaceship and be a pirate, or, you know, bounty hunter, or whatever, you know, without being too cliche, and, you know, jumping into the whole Star Wars universe. You know, what would it be like if it was really us, and how would it really happen? And I think any one of those, Lost in Space, you know, Expanse, Cowboy Bebop, I think that's more realistic as to where we as a species might end up. And I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Nice. I'm shocked you didn't go with Star Wars, and that would have been my second.
It's too easy, right? That's too cliche. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that? If you're a fan of the movies, if you're a fan of the series, you know, that just makes sense. But if I had to think about it, I think I'd want to, you know, Firefly, something like that, you know.
I could see that.
And I think we touched on the whole if we were living in Star Wars, didn't we? Didn't we do that one a few weeks back?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, what are you watching?
I'll go real quick here. I have two things I'm watching. The first, was not going to watch this because it seemed like maybe it was some kind of sappy romantic thing. And then I saw that the writer on the Time Traveler's Wife series on HBO was Stephen Moffat. Same Stephen Moffat who created one of the UK's best, funniest comedies ever, Coupling, and then went on to create I believe it was 3 of the best seasons of New Doctor Who. And some of the best episodes prior to that, because he wrote for the show before he became showrunner. So I was like, I have to watch that. It's Stephen Moffat. Sure enough, we're only 3 episodes in. This show is amazing. All I can say is if you have HBO, you need to watch this. I mean, yes, it is, you know, there's a romantic element, there's some sappiness, but it's also hilarious. There's a little bit of intrigue. And here's the real conceit of it. If you don't know anything about the time, does anyone know about the Time Traveler's Wife?
Wasn't it also a movie?
It was.
Okay. That's
So-
all
so-
I know about it.
basic concept without revealing too much. These two people are married. The guy is a time traveler. And by that, I mean, he describes it as not being, his body won't stick to the surface of time. He just flips, he just disappears. When that happens, he drops out of the sky naked. He has no clothes, no money, no anything. And
Perfect.
it's just basically, and he doesn't know if he's going to be there for 2 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days. And then whenever this is done, he usually drops back where he was. Sometimes it's not, it's close by. He also can revisit certain memories or things that are important to him. He will frequently go back to those, and he has zero control over how any of this happens. So that means he revisits some of the best and some of the worst moments of his life over and over again. Sometimes there are multiple versions of him there because it's an event he keeps coming back to. So, you know, there might be versions of, 20 different versions of him from 7 to 42, all at an event. And they're all trying to hide because they can't, they can't interfere. They can't change anything. They're all trying to stay in their own lane. It's crazy. But the main conceit here is that his wife, he meets his wife for the first time when she's 8 years old, when he drops out of the sky naked in the little forest clearing where she spends time playing, and immediately realizes who she is. Yeah. And has to work out. He stays in these bushes. She doesn't see him naked. And he's like, she thinks it's an imaginary friend. And he's like, go get me some clothes. Because he drops out of the sky. He's sick. He usually throws up and he's like, fuck, I need clothes. Continues to visit her over and over again throughout the years. So they're not showing things in order. They're showing things out of order. They're showing her talking in the present about visits from him in the past. They're showing her way in the future talking about this stuff. It's very all over the place, but it never gets confusing because they use clear visual cues so that you know what age everyone is. And they actually put it on the screen as they come into it. It'll say Henry, age 32, and his wife, age 16. Masterfully done. I'm so glad, because Stephen Moffat is one of the best writers we have in the world right now as far as TV goes, and I'm blown away by the quality of this. Now, just 3 episodes in, I don't know, maybe it'll go off the rails, but I mean, nothing's in order, but I understand everything perfectly, and it's almost like it's in service to the story to tell these things out of order, because one idea that they want to get through in an episode might actually encompass events that happened at several different times. And they're able to tell that story. So at the end, it all makes sense, if you follow what I'm saying. It's very unique, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. You definitely should check it out. The other one I want to recommend is a movie called Dash Cam. Now, disclaimer, there's a movie called Dash Cam that came out this year, 2022. That's the one I'm talking about. There's also a movie called Dash Cam that came out in 2021. And I rented the wrong one first. And I was confused because when this 2022, it just came out on video on demand. And I had seen some theaters, because it was in theaters and video on demand at the same time. Some theaters were saying they refused to show it because it was too grotesque and awful. And then we watched this other Dash Cam movie, which actually wasn't bad, but it was about a political thing with a congressman getting killed, and the dash cam footage and the guy that finds it and edits it. Not the right one. The correct movie, Dash Cam 2022. Holy shit. I mean, the less you know about it, I guess the better. I will say it has the most accurate portrayal of the worst of a right-wing conservative that you could get. Like you go to the extreme, they have an accurate portrayal of that, not a caricature, like a real person, how they might be if they were the worst of all that, as your main character. And her thing is she has a YouTube show, and the entire thing is filmed on an iPhone. The movie is legitimately filmed on an iPhone. And the entire time, for the most part, except when she loses internet, there are comments going up on the side, and there are the people that are agreeing with her. And if you watch, I mean, you can't catch it all. It's impossible to catch everything. But this is a horror movie. It's a unique horror movie with a unique hook. With it just by the end of the movie, you're like, I want her to die so badly, which is not how you generally feel about a final girl. She is so grating. And so you want to reach into the screen and strangle her, but she's your main character and your point of view person. It's again, just like the last show, like nothing I've ever seen. it's gonna seem like it's irritating when you first watch it, but it really all does work together. Just to give you an example of how bad she is, she visits a friend in another country, and at one point, because she's always filming, he has a job delivering food. He has to go to the restaurant to pick up the food. They're like, "You need to wear a mask, ma'am," and she just freaks out and like, "You're sheep," and throwing stuff, and like the kind of person who won't calm down, who won't even he's like, "This is my job. Why are you doing this?" She doesn't care. She is, supremely selfish, and and her followers are all agreeing with her. So it's really weird. It's kind of like the last 2 years put it into a horror movie, but that's not the main focus of the story. It's just part of the dressing. You have to watch it. Dashcam 2022. I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Kev or Corbs, do you have anything extra?
Not about Dashcam, no.
In general, do you have your own shows?
Yeah, saw Top Gun Maverick over the weekend.
Oh, how was it? I've
Oh,
heard
it's
good things.
That
Fantastic.
look amazing.
Yeah, that movie is fantastic. A lot of references to the old movies.
So watch it before you go.
No, you don't have to watch the original. Obviously, Tom Cruise is in it. Val Kilmer's in it. That's about it from the original cast. I mean, obviously, some of the other guys are, were bit parts or whatever. I mean, there's pictures. I mean, there's archive footage of Anthony Edwards, Goose, Kelly McGillis too. But Jennifer Connelly plays the love interest. Miles Teller is Goose's son.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. So, like I said, a lot of references to the original, but just a fantastic movie. The filming scenes in it. Oh my God, you're sitting right in the cockpit with them.
That's awesome.
I've seen some interviews and stuff like that with Tom Cruise talking about the movie and the filming. I mean, they put cameras right in the cockpit. Like it's not CGI. It's not a fake plane. They're actually flying these planes. Now they're maybe not flying them the way they're doing it in the movie itself, but they're actually in the plane. So when you're seeing them doing some of the stuff, it's them actually in the plane doing it.
That's awesome.
And they may not be the ones driving or flying the plane or whatever, but I mean, obviously Tom Cruise is not going to be there flying a $1 billion jet, stuff like that. But
He might. He does his own stunts.
it's true, he does. So, but fantastic movie. I would recommend it. Just go and see when it comes out on digital. Rent it. I mean, it's a good closure to the series too, to the movies, which is nice. So, I was actually happy. Kelly wanted to go and see it, so I took her on Saturday night. So
nice.
before I found out that I was right. So
was that the go home line? Is that you were right and then she sent you home?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I get out of here.
Nice.
So, but yeah, again, fantastic movie. I would recommend going, taking the time and go and see it. Wasn't too many people in the theater either.
Nice.
So, I mean, it was not like the first.
Even better.
Yeah, first couple weekends, obviously, when it was packed. I mean, it's still making good money at the theaters. I think it's like the 4th or 5th highest gross movie so far of 2022.
Perfect.
So,
Awesome.
again, fantastic movie. That's all I can say.
Outstanding. Jack, do you have anything to add before I throw it to Kevin for the two that we haven't watched yet?
Sure. The new season of The Boys dropped on Amazon, which is pretty good. That's
That first episode.
spoiler free, of course. 2-year gap from the second season, but as Hugh's face shows, I never thought this show could be raunchy or make you cringe more, but it's just like
First 5 minutes, my wife was like, "What the fuck?"
That's exactly what I said. I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch? I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. Yep, okay, it's back. Shout out also to Jack Quaid, who plays Huey. he's really relatable. He's just socially awkward and he's just an awesome actor. Like,
Yeah.
kudos to him. He's a great, and Billy Butcher, Kyle Urban, I believe is his name.
Carl Urban.
Carl.
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban.
Or
Carl.
just call him Two-Face.
Yeah. But no, oh my God. But like Hugh's face just says it all, basically. Like they're pushing new boundaries. Like each episode is like close to over an hour. Like like of course it's only 8 or 9 episodes, but you got the first 3 episodes. That was like a good little treat because usually it comes out every Friday. So it was nice to see that again. So very well done show. And I'm very looking forward to looking to see what happens this Friday night because like you had another cliffhanger, but holy
Has
fuck.
anyone else here watched The Boys?
I saw the first 2 episodes.
How did you stop?
It's
so
because Kristen hated it because it was so over the top.
My dad got me hooked into it, and then he's like, "This is way over the top. I can't continue." I still continued.
I need to go back.
I watched
I never
everything.
started.
I watched everything up till now twice or more.
Yes,
I haven't started the new season yet.
just wait. Hugh's face just, yeah, just wait. Like, you'll see.
Yeah, Kevin, it might be the most ridiculous, grotesque thing I've ever seen put to film.
Kathy and I laughed our way through so much of it. It's just
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
yeah,
laughed too. I'm
yeah.
not saying it was like gross. It was just like, I can't believe they fucking did that.
It's so ridiculously absurd. Some of
Oh,
it.
just wait. That's
Yeah.
all I'll say.
2-year gap though. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Mm.
COVID probably.
Well, no, I'm
Fucking
just
dead.
thinking, how did Wonder Boy there let Urban and his clan live this
Live
long?
for 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Why wasn't he, out chasing them down and burning?
Well,
their
he was
soul?
on a leash at the end. But I think, Jack, you meant there was a 2-year gap since the last season, not in the actual story. There was a 1-year gap in the story.
1 year gap in the story, but
even-
because it was
even-
COVID, that's why it's been 2 years.
But
since.
he was
No,
on
I
a,
know,
he was on
but-
a leash at the end of the last season.
Yes, he was. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, you're right.
You're assuming he can be kept on a leash.
Just wait. Let's watch it, Kevin, then come back.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm really
know.
looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. There was actually, there was a girl dressed up at comic,
Celebration.
a celebration as Stargirl.
There was. I think
Yeah,
I did see that.
Starlight, really?
Starlight. Yeah, Starlight. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I saw her. I'm like, oh, she goes, hi. Whatever. I didn't even get her picture.
All right.
Cool.
Kevin, take it away.
All right, so I did watch the latest episode of Obi-Wan, and it's really, really good. It's I see. I have a hard time seeing what these naysayers are saying about the show. There's so many people saying so many bad things about Leia and all this stuff that's going on, and about the Inquisitors, and how it's not like the Rebels or Clone Wars or whatever. And I'm like, who are you people, and what did you watch? I watched the same freaking shows, and it's great. I
Agreed.
It's a slow. I haven't seen it yet, but it is a slow burn show. But I don't mind it. I think we all.
It was a slow burn for the first episode just to get everything in place. After
Really?
that, episode 3 was action packed.
Yeah, I think you got to slow burn the first one because you got to reintroduce everybody to him and find out what he's been doing for the past 10 years. On Tatooine.
I just think it's great how they picked it up, from the movie. I mean, that was our preview.
Yeah.
To continue the story, and I just think it's fantastic.
I heard the writer of like the 3rd episode, he wanted that scene where he walks through the village to be a lot more lethal,
Gruesome. Yeah.
gruesome, but the Disney was like tone it back a little bit. Like apparently they wanted to drag like Darth Vader was gonna walk through the fire and drag Obi-Wan Kenobi more into it and all that stuff, but they're like
wow.
tone that back. It's like, oh come on.
That was pretty violent what he did.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
That was wow.
But it tracks with Rogue One,
Yes.
which is what they were saying. So Vader in his prime is fucking scary. Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was at, I was reading somewhere too, because when he's looking out his window in Mustafar, he's actually looking at the spot where he got his legs cut off and his arm cut off. So because Sith relish and that stuff, they want to feel the pain and know that they can be more angry and all that stuff. So I thought that was kind of a cool little Easter egg.
Feels the pain every single day.
Exactly.
Think
Yeah,
about
Kev, I agree. This episode was fantastic.
think about what you just said. Think about that when you're watching episode 4, because episode 4 is very interesting.
Okay, I'll watch it after.
can't wait.
I'll text
Anyway, and I'm not gonna talk anything else about that because nobody's, not everybody's seen it. I also watched the very first episode of Mrs. Marvel.
Me too.
But before I did, I went and I watched the on Disney Plus. There's it's not behind the scenes, it's
A fan's guide too.
a fan's guide. If you don't know who Mrs. Marvel is, or even if you think you do, you need to watch a fan's guide, because I didn't understand what the whole thing was and how it connected, and where she comes in and how she gets her power and how it relates. And now I do. Now I understand it, and now I'm totally bought into it. So when I
Nice.
went and watched the first episode, I'm like, wow, this is really great. And I had a really good time with it. And
So
really,
is it Miss Marvel on Disney?
Disney
Yes.
Plus. Yes.
Yeah.
My only weird thing about that episode is when her family said her name, it didn't sound like Kamala Khan. It always sounded like something else, which was just weird.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know that it was accent related because I understood every other damn word they said.
Yeah.
But
They also have some interesting nicknames for the kids.
that might have been it. I might have been catching a nickname and not realizing.
It is beta or beta is one of the things that they call both kids, their son and their daughter. And it's got to be cultural, because I've never heard it before, and I'm almost positive it doesn't mean beta in the sense of what I know what beta means. It's got to be something closer to whatever their intended meaning is. But you're right, they do both. The mother especially uses this term for both of her kids,
That must be what it was.
and the son. I think she uses it on him once, but definitely the daughter a couple times. And I think the father does too. Abu, I think he uses the same one.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very, it's an inside look at a culture that we don't, as Americans, we certainly don't get a lot of insight to. And the character building, I think, is very, very specific to what it would be like to be a young person growing up in that sort of a household here in the United States, where,
Yeah.
especially, Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm not giving anything away by telling you these things. But it is definitely something to consider when you're watching this, because none of us on this podcast can relate to this young woman. And the whole reason this young woman exists, the whole reason this exists, is because there was a writer out there that wanted to make someone that she could relate to, and that other little girls like her could relate to. And you get past that very quickly, and especially if you watch that the About one there, you get past that very quickly, and you're just drawn into it, and you're like, wow, this is really cool. And I'm looking forward to episode 2.
Nice. Beta or Betty are terms of endearment for children in Pakistani/Muslim culture.
There you go. Okay.
I googled while you were talking.
Thank you. Because I always use subtitles, and they would spell it out BETA, and I was almost positive that wasn't the right spelling.
Not the same that we think of. Yeah, definitely. Cool. I'm looking forward to it. That is one of Madison's favorite Marvel characters, so this is a huge one for us. She actually won one of the costume contests at one of the cons when she went dressed as Ms. Marvel. So she's really looking
Wow.
forward to it. We were shocked that it came as quick as it did. We expected this to be later in June, so looking forward to it. It's kind of sad we didn't get to do it today. So
Pretty good. You'll like it.
did we hit everybody off? The only thing I actually watched was the second to last episode of Fear the Walking Dead, and yep, that show sucks. So
Yeah, last Sunday's episode sucked ass too. I can't
The
believe
final.
they brought Madison back, and then
He hasn't seen it yet. Don't ruin it.
yeah,
that's enough.
But I told you it was going to piss you off.
it
Yeah.
did.
The Alicia thing was pretty stupid too. She crumples on the ground and then ta-da, I'm all better.
Yeah, but at the same token, I think they leave it open for the fact that she can come back.
I'm sure.
So, and they make reference to it in the next episode too. So,
Yeah, we'll
did
probably
see-
catch that tomorrow.
yeah, I did see that Jeffrey Dean Morgan made a comment for her to come to New York City for the spinoff with him and
Maggie.
Maggie. Yeah. So
Hand or something like that.
yeah.
All right, but that's all I've got. That's literally all the television I've gotten to watch in a
All right.
week's time. So that about does it for me.
Is it nugget time?
You guys tell me. Is it nugget time?
Nugget time.
It's definitely nugget time. Time to drop some nuggets.
It's 11:00 nugget time.
Yes.
Holy fuck.
Seriously.
Never approach a bull from the front, a donkey from behind, and an angry wife from any direction. Good night, everybody, and mega bite me, bitches.
Sound advice.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.